My fellow deep thinkers, welcome to Deeper Meaning Time. Today is episode 6, I believe, of Deeper Meaning Time. And this episode, I've got a bit of a rant. I got a little rant. It's been brewing in me for a while now, and it really got summed up today. This morning, I was watching the CBS Sunday Morning Show, and there was a good segment in there about breaking news. It really hit home. I didn't realize. I never thought about it. The way that news is given to us as a society, it's pretty gruesome. It's gruesome and disgusting, to say the least. The way that and I encourage you to get on their YouTube channel and watch the clip about breaking news. It's just really, really interesting. It doesn't matter what news agency you watch or listen to anymore. The term breaking news has become a very mainstream way to say, I think I have something important. Like, it's not breaking news anymore. Like, breaking news is the Twin Towers getting hit during 9/11. You know, breaking news is an assassination or the outbreak of a war or something. You know, that's breaking news. Not things like what, and, you know, don't get me wrong, it's really cool, but like Trump and Kanye's thing, who cares? You know, that's not breaking news. It's something that comes out of our president's freaking Twitter account. You know, that's not breaking news. And the fact that news, and the way that CBS put it, at least the journalist that did that segment, she was saying that basically, it's what they have to do. They have to do this now because we no longer need the TV. We no longer need news to get our news. So we can find it elsewhere on social media sites and online. So we don't use the TV anymore to get our news, and so the TV has to push really hard to get us to listen and to watch. But that's not, in my opinion, that's not the right way to be doing it. That's not real journalism. That's not real news. That's fake news, literally. I mean, and that's what she says. And I don't mean to steal some of the verbiage and stuff from that episode, but or from that segment, but it was just very moving to me because, well, here's the thing. And I've been noticing this for a long time now. And I don't know if I've talked about this yet here on Deeper Meaning Time, but it's something that it's really important to me, and other people don't see it. And gosh, you know, if I already brought this up once, forgive me. But so when the election was, when they were first campaigning, Trump and Hillary and Rubio and everybody else, when they were first campaigning, Trump had a now we need to think and consider Time magazine, because this is my this is the plot here of what I'm trying to get at, is that Time magazine, whether they're Republican, bipartisan, I happen to think that they are mostly pretty bipartisan when it comes to the way they report on things. However, I think through looking online, they are actually very Republican. But that's besides the point, really. You know, the fact is that the journalist that did the basically the centerfold piece was, and it was on Trump. He had Trump said, and this is important, you guys. This is really important here. Trump said, and the interviewer asked him, like, you know, how is it that you're gonna win? And Trump says, I'm gonna win because people say my name. And that, I'm gonna say that one more time. He said, I'm gonna win because people will say my name. People have been saying Trump. I don't go one day without hearing it at least once. Back when Obama was in office and when Bush was in office, I don't remember hearing people say their names all day long. I don't remember the TV saying their names all day long. But that's the only thing that anybody talks about anymore is Trump, and no wonder he is so relevant. It's like it's like the game of telephone. I tried to point this out to somebody. It's like the game of telephone, but instead of by the end of the line everything's screwed up and you don't really get the point, we all are listening in on the same streamlined conversation. And so we're all getting this BS of just Trump all the time. And it's because we feed into it. We're saying to one another, Trump, 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 Trump. And it's just going through this telephone line, and that's the only thing we hear. So it's never distorted. It's all we talk about. Now, to go the other way with it, it is distorted in the sense of the way they write news and the way fake news is delivered and the way news is delivered, just in general. It is construed severely a lot of times, and especially when and this drives me crazy, when they take clips from things that people say, whether it's the president or senators or congressmen, whatever, or anybody, entertainers, actors, actresses, whatever. They'll take a clip, a snippet, 5 seconds of something that came out of their mouth, but the context is completely missing. And people jump right into that they jump all over it. Come on, people. Where's your critical thinking skills? Seriously. Oh my goodness. And so that is part of the bad side of the telephone. That's where communication is horribly screwed up, and we don't get the truth, and we're not getting what started. You know what I'm saying? So, but we are playing Trump's own telephone game, and we're making the last person in the line, he's saying the same exact thing the first person said. Trump. Do you guys know what I'm saying? I hope you understand what I'm getting at. I don't think I've talked about this yet, and so, and this really segues into this whole episode. The thing that's the most concerning to me is that the way we utilize news and the way we talk about it amongst others, and you overhear people just in the gas station or at your wherever, it's your coffee house, you overhear so much stuff, but the only thing you hear is Trump. And me even saying, I really shouldn't even be saying it, I shouldn't be saying his name because I'm just giving him the satisfaction as I'm saying it. I shouldn't even have a podcast with me talking about it. I'm making matters worse. This is terrible. This is terrible. But we all need to realize that we're all making matters worse so that we could just move on. Granted, the re-election's coming up, and we'll have to see what happens. Who knows what happens. But it would be nice to finally get everybody to shut up, and whether or not that's with 4 more years of this guy or we get rid of him, But either way, I hope people stop feeding into this madness. It's absolute madness. And nobody sees it. And that's the part that bothers me so much. Nobody sees it. So, with the news reporting the way the news reports, and the way that we understand news and the way we take in news, it's fair enough for me to say and to believe that, well, let's look at it this way, no. I'll work with this then. I saw a Verizon commercial just this morning. It was about them installing 5G networks. And so the 5G networks are supposedly going to be able to enable wireless customers to basically transmit things instantaneously. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. They're saying 5G is going to be what connects the whole world into one big master hub, which that segues into basically a whole other episode about AI, which I can't even get into today. But the wireless customers, I mean, let's think about this. So if we're getting 5G network, maybe you're already thinking this. Maybe your mind's already taken off down the rabbit hole and you can already see where I'm heading with this. The the 5G network is going to enable news and people, reposting and all kinds of things to just happen so fast, and everything's going to be just so connected. I can't imagine, like, we'll be messages will be able to send so fast, so wirelessly, that we'll be like waking up to our TV and there'll be breaking news every single hour on the hour, something to do with Trump, or to keep our attention away from developing ourselves. And this is my whole point to this episode, is that the news media and social media, they're taking away our freedom. And I brought this up previously, that maybe we're enslaved to society, just as we owned slaves several hundred years ago. So if we're being enslaved to society, I mean, it's not looking good. And 5G is not going to help either. It's going to make matters worse. So either we all leave the social media universe and the world, and we we need to take a step back, but I don't think it's going to happen, because I don't think people are going to care enough or realize it. There's just too many people in the world that just do not care, and they outnumber the people that do care about society, in my opinion. And so with the enabling of 5G, we will advance into the future for sure. It will be the future. Just in my opinion, it's not going to be pleasant. And guys, we need to think about this. Some other reports came out recently in the news, just this past week, and they're definitely, in my opinion, they're legitimate news stories. Things that people should be interested in, and that was a couple things. There's our satellite, or not our satellites, our telescopes, our X-ray telescopes, the Hubble and the Chandra. They're up in space, but they both suffered some malfunctions recently, and this is on these are on a satellite bandwidth. Let's just stick with that. So they're transmitting in their own type of frequency that's not really related necessarily to cellular. It's all similar, but they're not using the same signals to send and receive messages from space. But my point is that if their technology hasn't improved at all, granted those are old observatories up there that don't have the latest technology on board, but we don't put enough money. Like what if we lose those telescopes, those X-ray observatories? That's scientific data just gone, just gone. I mean, the Hubble has been bringing us fantastic images for a lot of years now, and it's important that it stays up there. So what are we doing? We're not putting any money towards creating new there is the James Webb telescope that's in production, and it's geared to be one of the dawn of the age of space photography type of deal. But the point is that our own communications infrastructure is not where it should be, in the sense of where wireless is going. And if wireless communication with 5G networks and things like that, that's going to expand so many horizons, but yet we're still stuck using coal and nuclear power to generate electricity to power all of this stuff. And so if we can lose easy communication on some telescopes, and they go into some safe modes, and they're not stable, could the same thing happen to our communication grid? Absolutely. The thing is that we're not we're not generating electricity in a green way yet. It's not green enough. There isn't enough thought. There's not enough research. There's not enough push towards creating a better sustainable energy source. And they are out there. They are very abundant. A whole episode to come will be on Nikola Tesla. And that man is an awesome man. And what happened to him, his story is ridiculous. And all the stuff I've been talking about, the wireless, the news. I mean, guys, if you're listening, Nikola Tesla, you owe him your life at this point. Someone who a lot of people don't even know who he is. That's ridiculous. That man had innovations that we don't even understand. He was onto something that we will never comprehend, and we don't try to. We could comprehend it. I mean, I definitely believe we could, but at the rate we're going, no. And look around, nobody's working towards it, so what the hell? He was on to the energy, the sustainable energy source that we need to be a safe and stable wireless, power here on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make logical sense. The fact that we're moving into 5G, but yet we're still stuck in the Stone Age of electricity generation. If we had all of our collective minds researching into this, trying to figure out, boom, we could have it done. We could have it done. But our news, our social media accounts, our social media lives, they're suppressing everything that you're capable of. And I don't think people see it. I really don't. Because, guys, we could be in a whole new world of hurt. At the rate we're going, nothing is quite developing at the right speed. We're lagging. We're lagging very hard. It's as if we're in our game and all the players are ahead and the game's completely changed, the environment, but yet your player's still stuck. You haven't moved anywhere. But yet the screen keeps moving. Doesn't make any sense. Everything's changing, you know what I mean? So it's really interesting. It is. And I want you guys to consider all this. And this is important. These are important details that we need to focus on. I don't know why more people don't focus on this. Because we don't think about it. That's why. It's because we're being fed all day with bullshit. Trump this, Trump that. All day bullshit. Come on, people. Let's think. Oh, it's driving me crazy. And I've tried to be real cool. I didn't want to get into like some crazy rant where you guys think I'm a nut job or something. Like, I don't do that to start with, but like this is a thing that I'm pretty passionate about, and I just wish more people were on board. I wish more people saw it this way. We have to think logically. We have to think like it goes back to my previous episode, my thinker episode, about retroductive thinking being a lost art form of thought that we don't use anymore. It's so intriguing. We need to be simple. We need to think about things in a simple Mother Nature style. That's the way Mother Nature works. And so we could accomplish a lot more if we thought simply. We took a step back, we used some common sense and some logic. I'm telling you, we can make great strides. But my neighbors, the millions of people, a couple states over, there's so many people to reach. That's why I'm attempting to grow a community here of deeper-minded individuals, people that are passionate in wanting to know more and understand more and progress our society to a greater future, because it's the way it should be. The 5G, It's going to be our future. But it is in my opinion that if we don't innovate and develop old technologies now, 5G will destroy us. We need a way to sustain everything without any type of failure. I mean, failure is imminent, for sure, especially with the way we're going. Eventually there'll be so much power and data needed to pull and work this massive neural grid of the internet. We're not going to be able to sustain it. Or our energy bills are going to be so ridiculously high that all of us are going to go into poverty because we need, like zombies, the internet. Think about it. It's possible. Can't tell me it's not. I'm just worried, you guys, I'm worried. And I know there are other people that are worried too. And so if you're worried, definitely please leave me a comment. Shoot me an email. I'd love to get some people on here to feature on Deeper Meaning Time. It'd be really easy. It'd be a lot of fun. Just to talk to someone new, get a new opinion in here. There's a lot of things, and I'm still on a quest trying to find someone that wants to help me do this show, because I need another opinion, another set of ears, another mouth to talk and to relate and compare and contrast ideas and opinions. That's how you have a good conversation, a good discussion. And my show currently is a very one-sided discussion, and people may like my opinions, some people may not. Some people might find me ridiculous, some people might find me interesting. I don't care, it doesn't matter. It's about the discussion, and at this point, it's about me relaying a discussion idea to you, and you taking it and running with it, and thinking about something on your own, and developing your own mind and your own life into what you want it to be. That's the goal here for the moment, and I want to strive to push people towards being more creative and pondering more deeper thoughts and feelings. That is what will save us from the 5G network. That is what will save us from our impending doom of ourselves, because we can't sustain our own needs. If we all kind of just, dropped the whole social media life and you focused on your own life, you didn't worry about what was going on the news, just let them deal with their own problems. We got us, Americans, that don't work in the government, that don't work on TV or are big into whatever. We are the greatest mind here. We have so much power. There are so many of us against them. And I don't mean that in like a scary, type of way. I just mean that in the fact that we can do what we want. We can do our own things. It's America, That's the whole point of America's freedom. And people do exercise their freedom, and that's awesome. And that's why there are so many people here that don't necessarily think deeper and don't pursue a deeper understanding of life. But there are people that do want more. I know that. And that's the point with Deeper Meaning Time, is to find those people. And to let people know that they're capable of understanding more about their life and their future, what they could shape it to be. And something that is really interesting that I haven't quite understood why people don't find more interesting is our ancient civilizations that existed thousands of years ago. There are plenty of stories in hieroglyphs and in text that the types of technologies they had were so profound, things that we today wouldn't understand even. I read or I saw from a news articles a long time ago, I think now. It was about, I think it was a sunken ship, but carrying in this ship, and it was from a long, long time ago. Carrying in this ship were like chests of these big like rod type things that to me looked almost like fuses in a sense, the way that they were shaped. That's kind of what I thought they could have been, and it's the only thing that you would actually replace on something that is electrical in nature, that is required to keep up with something or to blow if there's an issue. But they were these like I don't know, they're like little spear looking things. They're hard to describe. You'd have to look them up for yourself. But they are made out of they look like pickles. That's a good way to put it. They look like pickles. So, but they're made out of a mixture of copper and nickel. Something like, I think it was copper and nickel. Either way, the point is that what they believe that they were using them for was some sort of electrical source, because that's the type of material you get when mixing those two. And it was said to be the same type of material. It's called orichalcum. It was something that Plato wrote in one of his books about Atlantis. It's super intriguing, and he said that this stuff was all over the place. That they lined pillars and walls and all kinds of things with this material. And possibly, maybe it was because of its electrical abilities. Something that we just today don't even understand what it could have done, what it could do. We don't look into it. We don't ponder it. There's not enough minds out there thinking about what the potentials are. And there's even stories of like the Ark of the Covenant, being just basically a giant Tesla coil, or some sort of giant capacitance that is stored there. When you touch it, it kills you. There's so much power. Now, that sounds like a capacitor, like a microwave capacitor, something that if you touched it, you would almost die, or probably would die. Then that's what the Ark of the Covenant was. So maybe that was just an electrical source, but we don't look into it, whatever. It's just a Bible story. Yeah, whatever. I mean, the legends are there, and I think that people even believe it was very real. Why wouldn't it be? There's even old Central American, really, like, we're talking about like the Aztecs. I can't remember what the ancient city's called. Either way, that's besides the point. It's like Teotihuacan or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember right now. But the site was where I believe Quetzalcoatl, he was called the Feathered Serpent. I believe that's where they said that he basically lived. And the legends were that he came down from the sky and brought them technological innovations. And so, perhaps he was an alien, or perhaps he was just a god, or perhaps they had done something on their own and figured out something, all on their own, figured something out, and then just sort of gave praise and thanks to an imaginative figure. But the point is that they had something, they had something that they understood, something that they could write about and talk about. Maybe they didn't really understand quite in our sense, in our terms. They couldn't give you, they couldn't tell you what meme it's like. There's nothing. They didn't really quite have good representations of what to call this thing, and that was just because of their ancient, sort of primitive nature. They weren't interested in wasting their breath on a bunch of crazy words. It was very simple and and easy to understand for them, you know. But the fact is that they had something. Why don't we? You know, where did we go wrong? Was it just lost over time within, stories and like the telephone game? You know, why don't we have the same technological achievements and stuff that they had? Why don't we build things like the pyramids? Why don't we build? Why aren't churches built like ancient Aztec temples? You know, why don't we do the things that they did? What are we missing? Are we missing something? But to me, my whole thing with this is that they had a technology, a green energy, I believe, an energy that they realized they could harness from Mother Nature, from the earth, because that's all that they had around them. They didn't have social media. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have TV. They just had the world in their life. And that is just so cool, so fascinating. The differences that we have today, where we can look things up and find things out on our own. But they were coming up with the OG, the original stuff on their own. There was no search bar. There wasn't. There was just conversation and their own thoughts. Why did we lose that? Why? What did we do? That's the really fascinating part of all this, is like, why are we still stuck in the Stone Age of things like electricity generation or, anything. Even the way we heat our homes and use natural gas and oil and as cars. Why didn't we develop what they had already had, what they had started? Where did it go? Now, there are stories that say that basically extraterrestrials or aliens came back after some time, realizing what maybe the potential was that we would do with some of this technology that we had found on our own, or they had given to us to jumpstart humanity. Whatever the story may be, it was lost. This technology was lost. But yet we don't even think about it anymore. We don't consider what it could be for us today. Why? Doesn't make any sense. There are people out there that do research and hardcore research and studying to find out more and to prove history books wrong and to fact check us. But when we do, and we do prove history wrong, people don't even pay attention. When we find out a new discovery, nobody even pays attention. How many people even know? Because it's not a lot. I've talked to a few people recently that had no idea. There was no mummies in the pyramids. There's no tombs in the pyramids. There's nothing. It was gone. Everything was gone. All these ancient civilizations left nothing. No remnants, nothing but hieroglyphs. Things that couldn't be erased. What happened? Guys, we need to think about this, and we need to figure out what we're missing. We can't sit around and wait for some ancient alien race to come down and give us technological advances. That's probably not going to happen. We need to do this now for ourselves. Because if they were here a long time ago and they realized what we were capable of, they're probably not coming back. Or if they come back, they're coming back to take us out because we're going to end up being a threat. We're not a peaceful civilization. They had more wits back then. They understood. They had a Mother Nature point of view. A worldly point of view. It doesn't make any sense. Guys, we just need to consider more. You know what I'm saying? We need to think about things more. There's not enough thought. You should be able to go home at night after your long day of work. And you shouldn't have to just, sit in front of the TV and listen to what they say. Read a book. Help us. Help us help ourselves. Granted, TV is great. Don't get me wrong. I watch all kinds of TV. But it does come to be a point in time when I truly believe we all need to take a step back. And if we don't do it soon, it's going to be a rude awakening coming for us. One day when all of our grids fail because of cosmic rays. Something so simple as the sun. I've talked about it before. The sun can cause chaos. Devastation, really, is what the aftermath would probably look like. The sun, just one fatal, massive coronal ejection could put us into darkness. And if we rely our entire society on our old age way of generating electricity, and our old age way of communications, cables, wires, it's gonna be failed. It will fail us. It's almost a definite possibility. No, I'm gonna go with it's imminent. It's bound to happen at least once. And honestly, guys, it's going to be our fault because we didn't take steps to prepare ourselves and to innovate the old ass crap technology we're still working with. It's garbage. We shouldn't be paying anything. Guys, okay. Here's something I wanted to point out. I saw this a long time ago in a YouTube video. Some guy online. Your electric meter, your electric company, not only do they charge you for the power that goes into your home and the power you use, but when you're not using that power, it's going right back to them or to your neighbors. It's going back down the line, back to the plant, where it then causes resistance on the motors and the dynamos that generate all of our electricity. It causes resistance. Resistance is not good. Why, we don't harness electricity properly. And electrical companies have to know this. But they just make too much money, So it's going to take a lot of people either crowdfunding something, just posting about it, petitioning to change the way we use the technology we have today. Otherwise, I'm telling you, I think we're on to a failed future if we don't fix things. But deep inside me, part of me thinks that we will. We will have a great future, and it's going to be awesome, but it's going to be because of us, deeper thinkers, coming together, realizing there's more. It's going to take time, though, of course. It will take time. But the more of us that gather together and pursue this as our goals, we'll speed it up exponentially. And the future will be upon us before we even know it. I mean, that's what I'm excited for. I am absolutely excited for what the future holds. I know it's going to be awesome. And at some point, we're going to have to fix what we've done first, so our future can be awesome. Guys, just look around, when you're driving to work, driving over to a friend's, whatever, just think about things, Look at the power lines that run down your street, down the road. You know they say overhead power lines, high voltage power lines cause cancer. Yet I've got them running through my backyard. Doesn't make any sense. But yet there's videos on YouTube of people creating electricity, generating electricity that's considered cold, putting it in water and then dipping their own hands in it, and nothing happens. Safe electricity that powers things. That is no different than the electricity we use today, but it is better. Those are the people that are thinking and considering what our future could be. There needs to be more of us. More of them. More of innovators. If you like finding out some new wild things, I encourage you to find Gerard Morin on YouTube. He is a pioneer in a sense. He's always been working towards free electricity, and one day I think he might eventually be there. We need more people to be like him, so that we're not doomed, so that our 5G doesn't take us down. 5G is going to be awesome. That's not going to be awesome when everything is down. It's not. But guys, now is the time. Let's get this going now. Let's keep this discussion going. With every revolution of the earth. Because that's what Deeper Meaning Time is all about. Exploring the endless thoughts and curiosities we have every day. And discovering all the deeper meanings time has to offer. Stay tuned for more episodes, guys. Share, like, subscribe. Do what you gotta do. Let's get the word out there. My name's Evan. Thanks for listening.